Gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to CEE Champion Group Draw. My name is X-Warrior, and by my side in that sleek shirt is none other Mr. Sexy Voice himself, Kremer. Hey, man.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. We have got some incredible teams here. We've got the likes of Fate, we've got Sinners, we've got Navi Jr. Some incredible teams up ahead, and honestly, I can't wait to see just who ends up in what group, who's going to have that relatively easy run, who's going to have to fight for every inch of the way. We'll have to see, and well, it's a place to find out.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a slaughter, and just for the people who don't know, so, this is what is happening. Intel has brought the best teams from 16 different countries from Central and Eastern Europe to compete against each other. This is the biggest Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament in this region, and we're here to see who gets crowned the champion. Now, the past couple of weeks, teams fought in their respective national qualifier series to see who gets to qualify for the main event. The regions consist of Ukraine, Slovenia, Serbia, Romania, North Macedonia, Montenegro, Lithuania, Latvia, Hungary, Estonia, Czech Republic and Slovakia, Croatia, Bulgaria, and finally, Albania and Kosovo. Well, before we get into the group draw, let's talk a bit about the teams. Let's see who are the favorites in this one. Kremer, take it away.
Honestly, I think the two main points of congestion, the two kind of regions to really watch out for are Ukraine and Hungary. They're the kind of top dogs who have come into this. I believe it was Hungary who won a similar tournament under a similar format earlier, either this year or last year. So they're kind of the ruling champions at the moment. I think kind of dark horses, though. We've got Sinners and eSuper, teams that kind of come up from that Czech Republic, Slovakia region. And I'm very curious to see if they can do some upsets. I think Game Agents as well, coming in from Romania. They had a great run in the DreamHack Open Fall qualifier I think that's almost 2 weeks ago now. So all of these teams are really going to be looking at peak performance. Fate's had an incredible run through that early bracket. Same can be said for the Tenerife Titans. Honestly, I reckon those are going to be my favorites. How do you feel about it?
Ooh, yeah, you've mentioned quite a few. I'm just going to say Fate is looking very strong right now. They've won quite a few recent tournaments of this caliber. And as you said, Bulgaria, the favorites, one of the most favorite regions. And they're definitely looking to dominate yet again. But as you also said, Ukraine, the teams coming from that region are also looking insanely strong. And they definitely look to compete with the best of the best.
And you said it perfectly, and I want to highlight Estonia as well. Lesgendi and Domino, two teams that have kind of had a fairly quiet run this year. I think Domino, they've had a formidable performance. They're either in main or advanced, regardless of which one it is. They're looking at about 8-9 wins to, again, about 2 or 3 losses. A formidable run by them. Lesgendi, the only team with an English player, Swaggy, he's representing Team UK, so all biases out of the way. I think they're a formidable team, forming up of players from D2E and some kind of smaller orgs that are kind of hovering around advanced. Nothing, great players, great aimers. Question is, would this mix be able to band together and kind of work their way through a group stage into a playoff bracket?
Yeah, and there are also teams like from the regions of Czech Republic, like Sinners Esports, for example. They've seen quite promising for the past quite some time, though they've been struggling with consistency, and I think this is consistency that they're looking to fight for during this tournament. Also, there's like Team One. It's one of the regions that aren't the favorites, Albania and Kosovo. They're not looking like one of the favorite teams to win the entire thing, but they do look promised with some of the more veteran-like players, such as Juan Flatro, who came from Secret, Rigon as well. So they're the most experienced of their team. They look like they can push their team to the right direction, and it'll be interesting how they match up against the stronger teams. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this kind of matchups, and I'm definitely sure that they're going to be matches that bring up upsetting results.
Yeah, without a doubt. And without further ado, let's go into the draw. We have every team here in a little bowl with the names on a piece of paper. So we're just going to go straight in, pick up our first team, and it's going to be Team Atomic Esports of Croatia.
Oh, well, what a first pick here. Well, let's just put that in Group A. So,
And
Atomic
yeah,
Esports,
Atomic
fully
Esports.
consisting of Croatian players, not fully Croatian, actually Flashy is from Bosnia, and just making sure here so I don't make anything wrong, Hovac and Taizo are from Serbia. So, kind of a mixed team here, more Balkan-like squad. So, I'm interested how they work together, synergize together.
And I've actually seen this team in a league as well, a small online league called Phoenix League. They actually have done very well in that. I believe that they went undefeated in their group stage. They had a very nice playoff run. I haven't been able to keep up to see if they're in the quarterfinals or finals of that league. So, regardless though, still a formidable team, and they could definitely be a dark horse in this. They could definitely have a good showing against these other teams.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move on.
Let's look on to the next one, yeah.
There we go. So this will be the first team of Group B. Again, we'll go in, grab the first team off the top, and it's going to be Team Drugnosis from Slovenia. And I believe they've changed their name on the HLTV. I don't know what they've... Oh, sorry, in the Wikipedia. I don't know what they've changed it to. But anyway, Drugnosis, Serbian team, definitely dark horses. I don't recognize any of the players. I think that anyone who goes against them needs to run the risk of, you know, overestimating or underestimating. And can they kind of play that to their advantage?
Yeah, I mean, they got here through their regional qualifiers, so there's no saying that this team doesn't deserve to be here. They've got here fair and square, and it looks like they can be a strong contender.
Yeah, and something to highlight as well with the Slovenia qualifier. That was a really packed qualifier. There were a lot of decent mixes in that qualifier, so by all means they have done very well to get through, and that could be said for almost every single team here. There wasn't a single qualifier that looked kind of weak at all in terms of those who showed up. It was formidable and solid throughout the whole bracket. So I am really curious. Anyone could run away with this. We say both Hungary and Ukraine favorites, but that is, you know, on paper favorites. That's not, you know, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's move on to Group C. Which one will be the team
first team
that will be the first?
We've got ourselves Lenovo Legion Honved. I don't quite know how you pronounce that. I do apologize for any butchered pronunciation of the nation of Hungary. Again, what do you think of this team?
Well, Hungary has been a region that has consistently been among top teams in this tier of play, though they've barely managed to scrap up first places as of recent. And Lenovo Legion, I don't think they'll be any different to that, but I guess it's up to them to prove us wrong.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's move on again. Group D, the first team coming out for them will be, as we open it up, of Bulgaria, it's going to be the Titans of Fate Esports, a team that you are really not going to want to be against. Group D, I know that's what could potentially be a group of death right now, so we'll have to see.
Well, yeah.
Wait, yeah, we spoke about
Fate. Really tell.
Yeah, we spoke about Fate and how strong they are. If I was a player, I would not want to be against them. So, Fate, at least now they're started nice and early. People know what to avoid. As well, let's go on further. I think it's back up to Group A now, as we'll be getting yet another team to join Atomic Esports. It will be Esports Kosovo from the team Albania and Kosovo. What do you think of this team?
Well, they're a bunch of people that I haven't heard before. They seem like a fairly recent, a fairly new squad. They seem like a bunch of rookies, but yeah, it's one of this region has only been improving lately. So yeah, you never really know how they'll do. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well said. Again, let's move on. Group B. Who will be joining that side of Dragnosis? Have a little shuffle through. Is the team. It will be Team Sinners of the Czech Republic. That is going to be a very well balanced team. We'll have to see how well they do. Again, as I said, Sinners, they have had just consistent consistency being there. Can they maintain that consistency? Can they do the entire run? I think Sinners and Dragnosis, that'll be their first, solid head-to-head matchup.
Well, Sinners has been a team that has seen quite a lot of recent success in this past few months. They've found Isuba's number if we come out with that team and see where that team gets grouped off. But they've consistently gotten into tournament finals with that team and consistently have been coming on top and getting that first place. So they seem like a very, very strong contender for this tournament. I don't think any team should fear them, actually.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's go to Group C. Who's going to be joining?
That's what I meant.
Team Lenovo. Let's take a little shuffle through. Here we have the team now. It is Team Good Game of North Macedonia. Again, a good game. A team I've seen in ESEA main. They have had some great showings this season. Again, I believe they're going, I think it's 9-5 at the moment, so a really, really good performance from them so far. Can they translate it into this group? I'll have to see. Let's go on without further ado. Straight to Group D. Who will be joining the Titans of Fate? Let's take a little look through here.
Every team must be dreading this moment.
We've picked up 2 teams at once. There we go. It'll be Team Coldwater of Serbia. A team that I haven't really heard of. What about you, Axa?
I haven't really heard of them much either. Though, like, coming up against the group of Fate Esports, they won't be looking to get the first seed, I don't think. But hey, it's groups consisting of 8 teams, so 4 out of those will move on to the next stage of this tournament. So I guess there is still a lot to play for.
Yeah, without a doubt. And let's move back towards Group A, the group that is... Who's going to be joining Atomic and Esport Kosovo? Let's take a little look going in here. And it's going to be Team Gods 1337 of North Macedonia joining that Group A. And again, Gods 1337, one of those mixed teams that have been able to get in. Full of solid players, incredible aimers. The real question is, can they bring that teamwork together to try and topple these more established teams?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that one? Yeah, fair point. Going on towards back to Group B. Yeah, we've had both Sinners and Dragonosis. Let's pull out this team. It will be Team Nexus Gaming of Romania.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That will show properly. But yeah. Yeah.
Already having...
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nexus, a great team. We haven't really highlighted them very much, but we've seen some great performances from them. They're regularly making HLTV. They're regularly performing in these style tournaments. Same can be said for Sinners. So this is actually going to be 2 teams that are fairly close together in terms of recorded skill set. So I am very, very interested to see who will come out on top when they go to play against one another.
Yeah, one more thing that I'd like to add for Nexus Gaming is that they have kind of a mixed roster. They've got the experienced players and they've got the rookies. And it's this combo that can be quite frightening, especially in this tier of play. So yeah, so far Group B seems like a fairly evenly matched group. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's see who's going to be joining them in Group C. Have a little shuffle of the bowler teams as we'll be pulling out Team Gamers 1337 of Croatia to be joining Group C. Again, one of these mixed teams. Again, I know nothing about them, X, if you have any thoughts on them at all.
I've looked them up, but there's not really much that came up, so I'm guessing they're just an up-and-coming team with rookies. That's my guess. I hope I'm not wrong, but yeah, I hope they match well in Group C.
Without a doubt. Moving on to Group D, what could be forming into a group of death, we will have to see. Yeah, a little shuffle of the bowl as we'll bring it back over, and it's going to be Level Up Esports of Serbia going to be entering that group, and that is a scary, scary team. As actually, we're not going to have quick counsel on that. We're not going to have teams of the same country in each group, just so it saves balance. We don't want, a group of the Czech Republic. So we're actually going to put Level Up to the side. Actually, no, we won't. We'll put them straight back into the bowl. In they go. And we'll quickly shuffle another team to try and see if we can at least keep it fairly consistent between each group. As we'll be pulling out, it'll be Team Blink of Albania, and Kosovo. Again, a team that is fairly well established. We've definitely been seeing them in ESEA leagues. What do you think? What do you think about them?
Yeah, they've showed quite a lot of impressive games lately. Like as I said before, they come from a region that has only been improving, and they are definitely one of those teams that have been improving. But have they improved enough? That's what they want to prove, and we're just gonna have to wait and see, especially against the group like Group D, as it seems to be forming quite difficult.
Yeah, without a doubt. Let's head back up towards Group A. Atomic Esports, Kosovo, and Goals 1337. Who will be joining them? And it's going to be Team Stelin Montenegro of the nation of Montenegro. And they'll be joining this group here. And again, a team that we've definitely seen about. I don't actually know much about them, X. What about you?
Well, they're from Montenegro. Yeah, that's exactly how much I know about them. Yeah, they also seem like a bunch of rookies that are looking to prove themselves in this region, and yeah, hopefully they'll stack up well against the Group A.
Yeah, and what I like about these, because we have had regional qualifiers, it means that nations that don't really get a platform, usually in kind of European and international leagues, get a chance to show themselves. They get a chance to prove their talent, and they get a chance to kind of put up a performance against other nations that also probably wouldn't get direct invites to massive European tournaments like IEM qualifiers and things like that. So it's great to see this. It's great to see platforms given to countries like that. Well, moving on, we got Group B, the fourth team. So we'll go into the magical bowl of dreams, and we'll get the X Crazy from Ukraine. Unfortunately, the team having lost their org, I think it's earlier today or yesterday actually. So
yeah, it was
to
a couple
see
of
how
days
that
ago,
affects their gameplay. Yeah, and Crazy or X Crazy, really, really good team. A team that has done incredible in their qualifier. I don't think they lost a single map actually, as they've been playing out their minds, whether it be on the international stage or the local one. They have been clicking on heads and they've been taking names. Can they take the first place of Group B? They've got Sinners and Nexus to play against, and this group's actually looking to turn out to be really, really tough for anyone who's in there. I'm not sure how you feel about this one, X.
Yeah, all the teams in Group B seem that they could stack up fairly even against each other. It's a matter of who's having a good day at this point. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. 4 more teams need to be locked into Group B. But so far, it looks like a really close fight for Group B. Probably the closest out of all of them we've seen so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. Moving on to Group C. Who will be the 4th team to join them? Go into the wee little bowl here, as we'll be pulling out. It's Team Tenerife Titans of Bulgaria. Again, a very, very good team indeed. How do you feel about these guys?
Oh, well, they are from Bulgaria, so they managed to qualify from that region. It definitely means that they are dangerous. So definitely a big team to look out for here, and Group C is starting to look scary.
Yeah, without a doubt. And what I love about this as well is that we don't have like one group of death and the other groups are kind of seen as, probably a bit easier. Every group is looking dangerous. Every group is looking scary right now. And the Titans being put in Group C just kind of embodies that, really. Again, they have had some formidable runs over the last few weeks and months. So this is a really good chance for them to prove themselves. As with that, we're going to be moving on to Group D. He will be the 4th team joining them again. A little shuffle of the bowl, as we'll be pulling it out. Team join the force of Lithuania. Both Lithuanian team to be placed in this little group stage. What do you think of these guys?
Join the force from Lithuania, a region that has seen not so much of improvement as they would have liked. It's one of the smaller countries regarding to CSGO and their level of play. So one of the underdogs, I'd say, from this Group D. But hey, everybody loves an underdog.
Exactly, and if anyone could pull out a kind of flary sort of surprise run, it could be join the force, as could many teams here. So really keep an eye on this team and make sure you don't underestimate them. So we'll head back up towards Group A. Again, another little shuffle of the bowl, and it will be From Montenegro, it would be the Mentals. However, because we've already got a team from Montenegro in the group, we are just going to put them back into the bowl as we'll shuffle out for another team. This time it will be from Serbia, Level Up Esports.
Ooh. I've seen Level Up Esports in ESCA games before, and they've played in tournaments such as smaller, even level tournaments, such as the European League, or I think it. Well, now that I think of it, it probably was Vindictive. I think they managed to win the whole thing, actually. So they've managed to get themselves into C tier, and I guess they've started to see if they can start to prove themselves in this higher level of play.
On the topic of C tier, we saw them in Multivibes and 9 to 5 regularly, and in that they were putting up solid performances. They were beating teams there. I don't think they won one, but they were still, placing very, very well compared to what was there. They've had their dosage of professional team practice. The question is, can they translate it into Group A? We'll have to find out as we'll move towards Group B again. Little shuffle of the bowl, trying to find a team in here, and it will be Team Domino Gaming of Estonia to be joining them. Again, a team that's had great success in ESCA. The question is, have they been able to do so in other tournaments? Have they been able to do so in local leagues? And will they be able to do so here? What are your thoughts on the mechs?
Well, players like Dodds and Vitsa in Domino Gaming seem like a very strong force, and they've seemed to be fragging quite a bit in the past games. Like you mentioned, the ESCA, they've looked very impressive. But yeah, in Group B, they don't seem like the strongest team out there, but they can definitely compete among the top spots.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without further ado, let's head towards Group C. As again, we'll do a little shuffle for pulling out. Looks like it will be Team 1 from Albania and Kosovo. There we have them.
Team 1. I mentioned these guys before. For me, they seem like one of the strongest teams coming out of Albania and Kosovo. I did mention that these guys have the pre-ex secret players Rigon and Juan Flatshow, who have played quite impressively in a lot of recent tournaments. Seeing them stack up together in Team 1 with 3 other rookies is definitely something I'm looking forward to see, and how well they synergize.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you said it perfectly. This is a strong, strong team with the expertise from those who were in secret. They've got that kind of stint to get on the big leagues. This is their chance to kind of show it again here as they bring some rookies up with them. Moving on to Group D, who is going to be joining Fate, Coldwater, Blink, and Join the Force. Well, let's find out as we pull out. It will be the Mentals from Montenegro. Again, a very, very strong team. I don't actually know much about these guys. What do you think, X?
I didn't quite catch it there. Which team it was? Could you repeat it? Oh, the Mentals.
The Mentals.
Right. Okay.
Mentals.
Well, the Mentals. No, really, there's not much I can say about these, as I don't really know much about them. So yeah, yet again, another team of rookies. It seems like Group D is stacking up with rookie teams. So an interesting fight going on. Yes, Fate Esports obviously still look like the obvious first pick out of this group, but the fight at the bottom seems like it's going to be quite brutal.
Yeah, you're right. And when you have all these evenly spaced teams all stacked together, especially because 4 teams go through out of each group, so that kind of second, third, fourth place is going to be in hot contention with these remaining teams. It's going to be a really interesting kind of dynamic where you're no longer fighting for first, you're just fighting to get out of groups, and then you can kind of try your luck with the other teams getting out of groups. So these kind of 4 teams also closely tied. It'll be very interesting to see how that goes. So we'll head back towards Group A now. Again, haven't got many teams left, as we'll do a little shuffle. Pulling out, it will be from Ukraine, which they've got tied in with another team. Team Navi Junior.
Oh my word.
Ukraine, we've got our first Ukrainians.
All right,
Navi
Group
Junior,
A must start to feel scared right now. Yeah, everyone in
Yeah,
Group A must be shaking. I mean, but we both want to talk about this team because simply they look very, very strong. Now they've come at the top positions of many tournaments of this tier, and they've contested fairly well in tournaments higher, in second tier tournaments. The one thing that I noticed about this team, it looks like they have a little bit of a curse. They've gotten to so many second places in tournaments as of recent. They haven't unlocked a first place for months, maybe a year. I'm not really sure. This squad has been together for a year, but they haven't managed to get a first place spot, I think, since February. And yeah, they find it quite challenging. So maybe this is a tournament they break this curse.
fingers crossed. Let's hope for them, as Group A forms out to be a very scary group indeed. We're going to go on towards Group B again. We little shuffle as we'll take a look at the team joining them. It will be hailing from the Czech Republic. It will be Eklot Gaming, or Eklot Gaming. I don't know how you quite say that. As there we go. Unfortunately, I don't think they'll be having to be ruled to the side due to the fact that Sinners, a team already from the Czech Republic, will be in that tournament. So we are going to do another little shuffle as well before we pick another team here. It will be Eklot Gaming again. Okay, we'll shuffle it even harder this time and hope we don't get the same again, as we'll be pulling out team Race Peak from Slovenia. There we go. Have to see how they do. And again, Race Peak, what do you think of these guys?
Well, Race Peak, I'm not really sure what to say about these.
Drugnosis is from the same region.
Oh, right, Drugnosis. Right.
Yeah, we've actually right, now we're getting to the point where everyone's from the same region. Yeah, so let's try these guys. It's Eklot again. They're everywhere at this point. As we'll pull.
Maybe we'll have to set them to the side for this one.
If we get it again,
I think we'll have to.
Yeah. From Lithuania, it's Gazats. There we go. Lithuanian team coming in.
Lithuania.
How do you feel about these boys?
Finally, a team that is not from the same region as the same teams already in Group B. Gazas. Is it Gadstus? I'm really bad at pronouncing this name.
We may need some help with that one.
we very well might need some help with this one. Yet again, I've mentioned this before. Lithuania is not the strongest region out of the ones showing up in this tournament, but they deserve to be here, and they definitely want to give up a fight in Group B. Like I said, like we also said previously, Group B, it seems like a very closely contested group, so they're going to have to pull off some very good wins here if they want to compete for the first 4 spots. Yeah,
without a doubt. Let's head on towards Group C. Let's see if we can find a team that isn't from the same region as anyone else here. As we will pull out. It's going to be Team Game Agents of Romania. Again, your Game Agents, a team we said before having great success in their plays against in that DreamHack Open qualifier, as well as many other qualifiers and tournaments that we've seen pretty much throughout the last few months. Game Agents, again, proves to be very, very strong. How are you feeling about them?
Yeah. Well, Game Agents, they qualified first from their region, so they're proving themselves that they are the strongest, if not the strongest, one of the stronger teams of Romania. And all of these guys are a bunch of rookies. So I guess they have everyone to surprise here in this tournament. Let's see what they can come up with.
Yeah, you've said it perfectly. Let's head towards Group D and see if we can get ourselves a team that isn't a duplicate, as we'll be pulling over. It's going to be Team Budapest 5 of Hungary coming out here.
Ooh.
And
Budapest
Group D,
5.
Group D just suddenly got a lot more scary, as the Hungarians are going to be joining this group.
Yeah. I said this before for the Romanian team, but Budapest 5 also qualified first from their region. They definitely look very strong right now, and a serious contender, I'd say, for this tournament. What they want to improve is their higher tier of play. So if they win this one, it might prove that they've got a little bit more in them.
Yeah, without a doubt. Heading back towards Group A, let's take a look at some of the remaining teams. I believe we've only got 8 teams left, so not many left to choose from, as we'll be pulling out of Estonia, Legendi, the only team with an English player. I'm going to throw that out there to get that national pride up. Yeah, a mixed team comprising of some players who have done very well recently, Team D2E in particular. So we will have to see just how they kind of fare against these sort of Group A players. But again, a very good contender.
Yeah, they might be representing Estonia, but I think in the heart of the Brits watching and in the hearts of the Brits casting or whatnot, I think they'll know which team to support in this one.
Yeah, non-biased, of course. Non-biased way, of course.
Non-biased, obviously not.
We'll head
towards UK. No,
no. We'll head towards Group B now to pull out the 7th member. Who will it be? Taking a look now, it's going to be Team Sampi of the Czech Republic. Unfortunately, I believe because Sinners is already there, we won't be able to put these guys in, as we'll have to draw yet again. Trying to find another team without any duplications is going to get increasingly more difficult, as pull out Team Sampi again. Well, you're just going to have to leave them out at this point. As
yeah, I think we might have to.
Yeah. As we've got the Eagles from Albania and Kosovo. Again, how do you feel about these guys?
Well, Albania and Kosovo. That's what I gotta say about them. They are yet again trying to prove themselves amongst Group B again. To be one of the teams that are looking to upset. They're not looking at as one of the teams that are one of the favorites, but you never know.
Yeah, without a doubt. And yeah, you said it perfectly. It's clean and concise. Let's see who's going to be taking us to Group C. Again, little shuffle of the teams here, as we'll be pulling out Sparex Esports of Latvia. Again, how are you feeling about these guys?
Well, there's not too much to say about them.
Not too much on record, is there?
Yeah, there's not too much on record. So I think we should leave them, let them see what they can prove, and we can go onwards to the next group.
Yeah, going into Group D again, we'll do a little shuffle of these teams for picking out. It will be joining Group D will be Race Peak from Slovenia. Again, a very, very strong team. How are you feeling about them?
A team that is definitely looking to be at the top of Group D. Yet again, I don't know how well they'll contest against Fate Esports, but among the lower, the teams that have showed lower performances throughout the past few months, they definitely look to be winning against these. So it's a matter of where in the top 4 they'll be finishing, in my eyes. But you never know.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you said it perfectly. All these groups are so closely tied, it could be anyone's game. Anyone could get out of groups right now. Anyone could join that playoff run. And, I do expect that we'll be seeing some hero kind of runs deep into this tournament from teams we wouldn't really expect at all. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, as we'll head up back towards Group A for the final team in each group. From Group A, it will be... It will be Team Esuba from the Czech Republic. How are you feeling about these guys? Esuba, again, a team that's been around for ages. They've had some solid performances. They've had some great tournament runs. What are your thoughts on them?
I think they're in a group that they'd be happy to be in. There are a lot of teams that they can beat fairly well. But what I've noticed in a lot of tournaments like these is that the teams that manage to get out of the closest in skill gap groups, even though if they look prior to the tournament starting, even if they look a lot better than the ones that are already in their group, they have better chances in doing well onwards because they've had the practice and they've already gotten into that tournament mode. I can't really say. They might be able to scrap up the first top positions of Group A, but yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, without a doubt. And going back to Group B, again, the final team. Unfortunately, the remaining two, because of the way duplication works, and we don't want there to be the same team from the same teams from the same country in a group. It means that for Group B, it has to be the Latvians. Wolfsung. Let's see if we can pull them out of the jar quickly. Here they are. Wolfsung of Team Latvia. How are you feeling about these guys?
Well, these guys, unfortunately for them, they haven't seen much success lately. I think they're struggling to find identity after a few roster changes, and yeah, it's that identity that they'll be trying to look for during this tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, going into Group C, I think the remaining two teams are two Czech teams, so we'll have to see which one it is. Again, there's only two in here for me to pick from.
Yep.
The first one being Team CEE, Czech Republic. They've been trying to get into groups pretty much for this entire broadcast. They finally get into one. It's Group C.
Yep. Well, Team Sampi. Well, for Team Sampi, I can only mention that they've got two very standout players. Those are Perchin and Fragged. They definitely look to quote unquote carry their team. One of them Opera, one of them a Rifler, and they've been fragging long stop for quite a while now. So they'll be a dangerous team to look at Group C.
Yeah, without a doubt. And of course, that leaves us with our final team going into Group D. It'll be Eclock Gaming. Again, a team that has been trying to make its way into groups for most of this broadcast. They finally get to. It'll be Group D. And that'll sum up the draw for our groups. How are you feeling about these guys, X?
Well, a lot of difficult groups. I'd say the group of death would be Group B.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
A lot of strong teams of equal caliber. Let me just bring out the teams so I can watch them. Okay, so a lot of teams that have around the similar level of play. And I think there are going to be some very epic matches going on there. I think the most decisive group would be Group D. Fate Esports will probably be looking to top that group. If not, I'd be very disappointed. And for Group A, I'd say Navi Junior is looking to get that top seed. But at the same time, there are teams like Atomic, Isuba, and maybe even Level Up can contest them and for that top spot. But yet again, top 4 out of the 8 will be able to move on to the next phase of this tournament. So everything is up for grabs. What do you reckon?
Honestly, you said it perfectly. This Group B is a scary, scary group. Domino Gaming, Crazy, Nexus, Sinner look to try and get that top 4, and it will come to the point where I guarantee you it will fall to round difference. I think every round is going to matter in that group. Again, Group A, you said it perfectly. Navi Junior, they're going to look to try and top that. Group C, it will be Game Agents to try and kind of fight Tenerife Titans for that top spot, I suspect. And with Group D, I think Fate, they need to make sure they don't get too comfortable. They are clear favourites for that group. But if they kind of sit back, if they take it easy, all of these teams that are kind of from scenes that are a bit younger than the Bulgarian one, they're going to snap at their heels and they're going to take every opportunity they can to try and topple them.
Yeah, it's pretty vital to have good competition within groups because you get the feel for the tournament and the level of play. If you don't get that feel early on, it will bite you in the ass once you get into the knockout stage, and there are no second chances when you get there. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. I do think Budapest 5 can contest Fate. Yes, it will be difficult, but there is potential for teams like that to contest Fate. So I guess we'll have to see. There are some weaklings within Group D. But yeah, we've already mentioned it. Fate do seem like the strong favorite of that group.
Yeah, and with that, that should be all from us from the group drawing ceremony. Please tune in over the course of the next couple of days, where both myself, X-Warrior, and a couple of our other casters are going to be bringing you these games. The schedule should be announced fairly soon after this broadcast, so please stay tuned, folks. You can find the socials in the channel description. There's a little love heart in the bottom right corner that'll allow you to follow the channel for when we next go live. You can find both me and X-Warrior on Twitter at Kremer32 and X-Warrior. So please stay tuned and, let's hope we have some good CS on the way.
Yeah, looking forward to it.